It's 3 in the morning. You were asleep. You don't know why you're not anymore. The room is dark, the house is quiet, and your brain is running at full speed. You stare at the ceiling, you check your phone, you do the math on how many hours you have left if you fall back asleep right now. You don't fall back asleep. Most people assume something is wrong with them. Nothing is wrong with you. What's happening at 3 a.m. is one of the oldest things your body knows how to do. It just has nowhere to put it anymore. And the reason it's happening, the real reason, not the one your doctor probably gave you, goes back 300,000 years, runs through the courts of medieval Europe, and was finally proven in a government lab in 1992. The answer changes everything you think you know about sleep, wakefulness, and what your mind was actually built for in the dark. In 2001, a historian named Roger Ekirch published a paper that quietly broke sleep science in half. He had spent 16 years going through historical records, not medical journals, not lab studies, diaries, court documents, prayer books, letters written by ordinary people across 5 centuries of European history. And in all of it, he kept finding the same 2 words: first sleep, second sleep. Before the industrial age, humans did not sleep the way you sleep. They went to bed shortly after sunset, slept for roughly 4 hours, and then woke up. They stayed awake for 1 to 2 hours in the middle of the night. Then they went back to sleep until dawn. This was not insomnia. This was not a disorder. This was the default state of the human body for thousands of years. A 16th century French physician recommended that couples conceive children during this window because they would be better rested, more present, more alive. People visited neighbors. They interpreted their dreams while they were still fresh. They prayed. They thought. A doctor's manual from the 1500s described the quiet hours between first and second sleep as the best time a person had all day to reflect and study, when the mind was calm and the world was still. Historians had been reading these references for centuries. They kept mistranslating them. They could not imagine that people had ever slept differently than they did. The assumption was so complete that translators literally rewrote ancient Greek and medieval Latin to make it fit modern experience. The 2-sleep pattern had been hiding in plain sight for 500 years. Nobody saw it because nobody was looking for it. Then in 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Wehr at the National Institute of Mental Health decided to find out what the human body actually wanted to do if you removed artificial light entirely. He took a group of healthy volunteers. For 1 month, they experienced 14 hours of darkness every night, the same ratio of dark to light that our ancestors would have lived with before fire, before candles, before gas lamps. Nobody told them how to sleep. Nobody gave them instructions. Within 3 to 4 weeks, every single participant settled into the same pattern: 4 hours of sleep, 1 to 3 hours of quiet wakefulness, 4 more hours of sleep. Their bodies just did it, as if the pattern had been waiting inside them the whole time, buried under layers of electric light. But here's what made Wehr's experiment genuinely strange. He measured their hormone levels during that middle of the night waking period, and what he found was unlike any normal waking state he had ever recorded. The participants' brains were producing elevated levels of prolactin, the same hormone released during meditation, during deep relaxation, in the minutes after orgasm. They were not anxious. They were not lying there grinding through their to-do list. They described the state as peaceful, reflective, almost meditative, a kind of quiet consciousness that felt distinct from both sleep and ordinary wakefulness. It was its own state, a third state, one that most modern humans have never experienced because we eliminated the conditions that create it. The answer is not complicated. In the 1600s, cities began installing street lamps. Paris went first, under Louis XIV, who wanted to reduce crime. London followed. For the first time in human history, the night became navigable without fire. Then came cheaper candles, then gas lamps in the 1800s. Then, in 1879, Thomas Edison commercialized the electric light bulb, and within a single generation, the night that humans had known for 300,000 years was gone. Your body does not know the difference between a light bulb and the sun. When light hits your retina at 11 p.m., your brain reads it as daytime. It suppresses melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. It delays the onset of first sleep by hours. And when first sleep is delayed long enough, the entire 2-part architecture collapses into one compressed block. The middle of the night waking period doesn't disappear. It just lands at 3 a.m. instead of at midnight. It arrives in the middle of what your body thinks is second sleep, and your brain can't make sense of it because the first sleep it was supposed to follow never happened properly. You wake up at 3 a.m. because your body is trying to reach an interval that your lifestyle has made impossible. There is one more piece, and it is the one nobody talks about. Wehr's subjects, lying awake in the dark with elevated prolactin and a calm they couldn't explain, they were thinking, not worrying, not spiraling, thinking. about their lives, their choices, the people they loved, the things that mattered. Modern humans lying awake at 3 a.m. do not experience this. They experience dread. The difference is not biology. The difference is context. When waking at night was normal, when every person around you did it, when your culture had a name for it, when the hour had a purpose, the mind used it. When waking at night became a disorder, when the silence around you meant everyone else was asleep and you were broken, the same biological state transformed into anxiety. The 3 a.m. spiral is not your body malfunctioning. It is your body arriving at an ancient window and finding it boarded up. The thoughts that feel unbearable at 3 a.m. feel unbearable because you are fighting the state instead of living inside it. Your ancestors did not fight it. They lay in the dark and let their minds move. And in the quiet of that second wakefulness, some of them thought thoughts that became the next day's decisions, the next week's actions, the rest of their lives. Somewhere between the 1600s and now, we decided that sleeping through the night in one unbroken block was normal, that anything else was a symptom, something to diagnose, medicate, and correct. But the data says otherwise. The 500 references Roger E. Kirch found, the bodies of VAERS volunteers resetting within weeks, the prolactin, the peace, all of it pointing to the same conclusion. The night was never meant to be one long unconscious stretch. It was meant to have a middle, a pause, an hour of quiet that belonged entirely to you. We traded that for the light switch, and most of us never knew what we gave up. So the next time you open your eyes at 3 in the morning and the house is dark and your brain is awake and you don't know why, you know why now. Your body remembered something. The only question is what you do with the hour.